something wild and nutty and start holding class in the lunchroom or something. Okay.
And I really don't have lunch then. I'm making time for it.
So the key would be, how do I do that? I need to think about that.
Yeah, we allow any time. Now it's the 12 o'clock. I
Mm,
don't have class,
that's a
so
good point.
everybody's gathering before 1 o'clock.
But we could go to, what is that place called? The Textionary, and get a room upstairs, because I think they have TVs up there. If they got a TV up there, I could connect my laptop to the TV, and then we could be functioning. I may look at that sometime. Not this week, but maybe next week. We might do something like that. That would be really weird. But hey, I mean, actually, that'd be funny. Okay.
It hasn't been months since we spent time together last year, so
Yeah.
I don't remember. I know.
Okay.
All I can do is remember myself.
Okay, so let's do one of those problems. I need to figure out which one. Okay.
We had some highlighted.
Yeah, I think one of the ones I want.
Pink highlighted.
Okay, wait a minute. That's chapter 6. Okay. Okay. Is that them? That's all right. I just want to. I did. Now, hopefully, they remained highlighted. Did they? They may not have. They may not have. I don't know that they did, actually, now that I see that. That's okay. We'll pick a good manometer one, and then we'll get in and do.
Yeah, let's do a manometer.
How about,
We talked about manometers when we went back for the first time we were together. Been a
let's
while
see.
since we've done manometers.
Yes, let go. Okay. It says, or just do, okay, so this is 230 associated with both those problems. Okay, so let's just do, I guess we could do both. Um, let's see. So it says determine the pressure at point A and B. Containers are filled with water. Both times they're filled with water. Determine the pressure at point C. Containers. Okay, where A and B. Okay, so they're just. Let me get that finger off there. So these manometers are like a story, and you just got to think of them like a story. You're sitting here, and you are like the puzzles at Cracker Barrel. So you sit here, and then you hit the water. Okay, so when you hit the water, you go down, the pressure increases, come back up, it decreases. So right there, at that point, and we're assuming, he didn't say this, but I'm going to assume that all of this is full of water. There's no air bubbles in it. He kind of showed that by dipping the pipe down in the water, um, but he should actually say there's no pipe, there's no air bubbles in there. If that's the case, this pressure is the same as the surface pressure, which means if I swim up to here, I'm swimming into a lower pressure or a vacuum. If you drill a hole in the pipe, it fills with air, it sucks the air in and drops down. So it doesn't, so at this particular,
Vapor loss, right?
yeah. So essentially you're going into a little bit of a vacuum and then you come back in here,
To zero.
You're back at
Well,
the,
back to base pressure.
yeah. And so I'll say this, it is 0. I'll say we're going to work off of gauge pressure. Because I don't have enough information to determine if it's 14.7 psi or maybe it's 12 psi or whatever. I don't know what elevation I'm at. So I'm just going to do gauge pressure. Once I hit here, I'm starting to swim down. So I'll start pressure at 0, which is actually 0. So in fact, this is actually 0. Then I'm swimming down. As I swim down, I'm increasing. So the story goes, I'm at P0. And later on, we'll figure out P0 is 0. I'm at P0. I hit the water, I increase, a decrease back to 0, I decrease below 0, increase back to 0. Then I start going down. I go down 2 feet and then another 4 feet. So that's 6 feet.
So is it plus 6 feet, minus 6 feet?
It's plus because I'm going down. I'm increasing as I go down.
Okay, I follow now.
So as I increase, because I'm going down, I swim 6 feet, that's my H, and I'm going through water, which it's 62.4 pounds per cubic foot.
Now that is in
That, and that's the gamma, that's the specific weight. So at this point, I've arrived at A.
You don't count left and right, do you?
No, because it's not going against gravity. Gravity is what, all of these assume gravity is this way. I mean, if they did assume gravity this way, they should tell you, but no, I've never seen a problem do that.
Okay, that's fine.
So you start at atmosphere, which is actually 0. You increase as you swim down. So PA is just 6 times 62.4.
I'll spit a number out.
370? Oh, okay.
62.4 times 6.
Oh, okay. 374.4. Okay. So that's in pounds per foot squared. If you want it in PSI, you just have to take.
Isn't that pounds per square foot?
Yeah.
No, square inch, sorry, so you would do that by 12, 144.
Yeah. So that would be just slightly over 2.
2.6.
So I don't know what he gives his answers in. But now I continue the journey. So if I continue the journey, I can say, I can take this off and say, now I go back up. Okay. So I'm basically going back to my journey. Took me all the way to A. Now I can stop here and calculate A and do this. Okay, so here's what I can do. That's PA. So I could put equal PA, or I could say that is PA. But now I continue my journey. And I turn and swim up.
Oh, you skipped 231. That makes sense. Never mind. I couldn't figure out why we were coming up with B going towards C.
Oh, yeah.
You're fine. I
Yeah.
know what you're saying, though.
Yeah. So I was just going to, I didn't actually finish B either.
That's okay.
So I was going to do it, because the flying fish has to go a different path to get to him. The next flying fish comes in and goes to B.
Okay. All right.
But
I'm following you now.
yeah. So I'm at A and I'm going towards C now. So I swim up 4 feet through the same water, 62.4 pounds per cubic foot. and I arrive at C. Or the other way to look at this is this whole thing is the pressure at C. Now, the difference between these is 2 times 60. So PC should be what? 124.8 pounds per foot square.
4
PSI.
PSI.
So now the flying fish can come out of the air and fly around, and as he flies around, he's not going to experience any pressure change that much in here.
But since, okay, so for sake of the question, all right, we have that air
Uh-huh.
locked in that chamber.
Uh-huh.
The pressure stays the same whether he's in the water or in the air?
It stays the same on the surface as everywhere in the air.
Yeah.
So in other words, what I'm saying is he comes off the surface and flies up. Normally, if this is some heavy material, it would get a lower pressure. And legally, it does. But if you look at gamma of, here, wait a minute, let's see if that's that may be the guy at my house. Let's see. Hello?
Hey, Bob, this is Chance. Just seeing if we was going with the roundness here.
For the edges?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, I think so. Let's,
Okay.
we couldn't decide. All right. Sorry about that. Too many things all at once. Let's see. Okay, so
Now we're going to pressure at
B, yeah. Let me double check, make sure my mic is back on. Yeah, it's back on. Okay, so the pressure at B is there's another flying fish over here. Uh-oh. This may be the old marker. Here is new marker, and hopefully, yes, maybe. So the flying fish's pressure is the same, and then as he goes down, so he starts at P naught, his journey takes him down 3 feet through water to arrive at PB. So it's basically a little story there. And that's 0. So pressure at B is nothing more than 3 times 62.4, or roughly 187.2 pounds per foot squared,
or 1.3 PSI.
1.3 psi. And that's pretty much all you do is when you go vertical, you either increasing your pressure as you just think of it as a submarine. If as the submarines get deeper and deeper, that pressure can collapse the hull. So you're increasing pressure like crazy. And then when you come back up, you're decreasing it. And so it's just, that's all there is to it, is you're just, and you can write these equations like you're on a journey. I start somewhere, I go down or up a certain distance through a certain fluid, I go down or up a certain distance through a different fluid, and then I arrive at a location. And that's pretty much it. It's a fairly simple, all the other stuff is just how the picture looks, you know. So I mean, I could do another one, but they're all, I mean, here's a funny thing. It says, oh, okay, there's mercury right in there. Okay. So we might as well do that one, or something that has mercury. There's mercury again. Well, that doesn't have mercury. It can't have mercury. So that's a lighter fluid sitting on top of the water. Some oil. Which one do I like better? I like that one. Let's just do that one. So, there's a lot of stuff in the way here. And this is good because you're going through another, now you went through water, I mean, you went through air before and it had no difference. So this time, okay, I need to go down 1 so I can see the words on the problem. Maybe down 2. Maybe just down 1. Huh? Okay, so it doesn't, he's got a lot of words there, but the key is, okay, SC, okay, it's yellow. To me, I'm just going to say a yellow pipe, SC equal to 0.953. The gray pipe or mercury, SC, HG is 13.55. And that's something else that's slightly heavier than water. So, I guess that's a CL, I don't know, is equal to 1.03. So here you're just going on a journey. So without reading the words in the problem, I'm going to take us through that journey. So I'm going to start, doesn't matter which one you choose, I'm going to start at A. So I'm going to come out the pipe, swim in the A, and then I'm going to swim down. So as I swim down, I'm swimming through the yellow stuff, which is, okay, so how far did I go? He's got this thing all goofed up here. So he's got this being 2 foot to here, 3 foot to here, so it's 3 foot minus a half foot minus H. Gosh. 3 foot minus a half a foot minus H times gamma of the yellow stuff. How about that? I'll fill in the gamma of the yellow stuff in a minute.
Still have 2 unknowns.
Yeah. Well, what'll happen is it'll all boil down because if we just go through the journey and then look at what we got, it'll all fall out in the wash, because I think he wants to know if, okay, determine the height H of the mercury so that the pressure PSI is developed in pipe B. Okay, to do that, he has to tell us the pressure in pipe A. Okay, here you go. So this is 18. So we'll say this is 18, this is 25. We'll figure out this after we take our journey and we get our H's and our gammas, and we'll back out all the information. So right now I'm just focused on the journey. So now that I've done that, I'm going to go through this mercury down to here and then down to here. So I'm going through this mercury down to here, and so I'm increasing H times, and I'll go ahead and say this is gamma of Hg, because that's the mercury. I can go down and come back up and meet this interface. Now, you could actually say, this is what you could say, this, okay, so if I started at A and went down to this location, that would be the pressure at C. However, if I went down a little further, this would be the pressure at D. But I'm going to keep going down my journey, and that is I'm going to go up that distance, which, well, let's see. Is that a half foot? Okay, so this is 3.
It all adds up to 3, but we have 2 and we have a half a foot.
Yeah, so this has to be a half right here. You're right.
Dimensions.
Yeah. Half a foot through the green. Gamma of the green. And we'll fill that in a minute, and that gets us to PB. So there's our journey. Our journey starts at A. We go down this distance through the yellow stuff. Let's make sure I got that right. I got my distances right. Okay, so I went down 3, came back up a half, came back up a half, and that's this distance, 3 minus half and H, okay? Went through the yellow. Now I'm about to go through the mercury. I went through the mercury to here. I go down and back up through the mercury, so this pressure and that pressure are the same. So I go down H through the mercury. Now my journey is I go up half a foot through the green stuff. And so now I can start filling in my information. So first information is that this is 18, but I want it in pounds per square foot. So I'm going to multiply times 144 plus 3 minus 0.5 minus H times gamma of the yellow. He says that is the specific gravity of that, 0.953. It's a little bit lighter than water. So this is the gamma of the yellow. Notice he has a nice cyclohexanol, but I'm going to call it yellow stuff. And then you go down a certain distance, which you're not knowing at this point, 13.55 times 62.4. This is the heavy mercury. You come back up 0.5 through the green stuff, and the green stuff is S of 1.03 times 62.4, and that is the gamma of the Cl, or the gamma of the green is what I called it. And so you arrive at the pressure B, which is 25 times 144. So if you look at this, I only have one unknown now, and that'd be H.
Is it 25,
Oh, that,
144, or is it just 25?
well, so what I'm doing is it was 25 pounds per square inch, but I needed it in 144 inches squared per feet squared because this is in pounds per cubic foot and these are in feet. So all these units, these end up in pounds per square foot. And so, yeah, so I end up with that equation and just an H right there. H is what's left. And so, yeah, you solve for H. The key is I remained fixed with the mentality of going through my journey. Once I had my equation, then I started looking back at what I don't know. Now, obviously, he's wanting to know H, but he would have to give me the two pressures, which he did, in order for me to determine H. Now, what he could do is give me one pressure and this H and tell me to find that one. So he only has one thing left over that he can't give me two unknowns, is what I'm saying. There's only one equation there. So apparently this is, I guess the asterisk means it's complicated. I don't know. I'm not sure. So if you want, we can go on to another, or we can go to a gate now. But the sequence is the same, unless I can find another one. Let's see, did they ever text me back? No word. Okay. Well, I think I may make a decision just to go with it. Yeah, I'll just. I'll give a few more minutes. Okay. Let's see. What other problem? I mean, these are. Man, I could do one more. I could do that one. Yeah, I'll just do that one. And then we'll come back and do some. Today's Wednesday, right? So we'll come back and do gates. Wrap up the gates on Friday.
Want to do that quiz on Friday?
Yeah, it'll still be there. I'm going to kick the homework back a little bit too. The next, so. Let's just do this one and then we'll call it good. Okay. I don't know if this was my marker. Yeah, I guess it was. Okay. Okay, so I'm not even reading the problem. I'm just going to start on our journey. I know I got a flying fish starts here at P naught. Uh-oh. Maybe it was the other marker. started P naught, I came in, I hit the water. So I start at P naught, I go down H through gamma over the oil, and I arrive here at that location. And then I go down, so I can go down to here, and this is water, so I'm assuming I'm coming back up to here. So if I just went down to this far, then that distance would be 2 minus that, minus that. Wouldn't that be 0.25? 0.25, oh wait, yeah, 0.25 and that. Okay. So now I'm going down 0.25 through water, and that gives me C. So right now, I'm assuming this is pressure at E. I'm assuming this E is talking about this interface. This pressure would be the one you would experience when you got to C. Now you can start using your wings and flying around. So as you fly through this tube, there's no change. So in other words, PC is equal to PD. So to me, there's nothing more that I can write. So I can just say PC or PD, because I started in the air, atmospheric, hit the oil, went down again. Now I'm flying around, and I hit the thing at D. Now at D, I go down a meter, and am I getting another? I see a vertical line here. So what is this? Oh, the air trapped, also the air trapped in line CD as shown, okay. So he wants to know the pressure here. He wants to know that one. He also wants to know the pressure over here. But I'm a little confused at what I see. I'm assuming that this water comes up here. If it does, then this distance from here to the bottom is 2.25, right? And this distance is 1.5. So I would assume that this distance has to be 1.5. So in other words, this distance has to be 2.25 minus 1.5, or 0.75, is that right? So you had 0.75, you had a half, and then another, yeah, so that's 0.75. So you are increasing again, 0.75. You're going through water again. I'm assuming this is water all the way up to here, and you have arrived at pressure at B. So the first answer is this one. This is the pressure in the air trapped, in a tube, and this is the pressure of the air in the tank.
So that's actually, the first one is 1 times.
Yeah. And so he gives us the density of the oil. You have to remember, the gamma of the oil will be the density times gravity, or 900 times 9.81, and the density of the water, H2O, the density of the water, gravity, or 1,000 times 9.81, and that each one of these will be different, 9810 and smaller than 9810. So that's what's going to go here, and the H2O is going to get this one, and it's going to get that one. And that's pretty much it. So I may run out there and take a look at if you don't mind. We could get them to paint a small section and I'll look at it.